requires being creative to engage the students in the learning process. However, every teacher is different, as well as their different ways of teaching, now being more diverse with the generalization of technology. So let's see a way of teaching using them. This project is focused on students from 6th year of primary education for social science. Some units taught this year are Europe's map and the contemporary age. Due to this, the activity will focus on both of them, but mainly in art from the 19th and 20th centuries. This activity pursued different goals from Spain's curriculum, being the following: to develop habits of individual and teamwork, effort and responsibility in study, as well as attitudes of self-confidence, critical sense, personal initiative, curiosity, interest and creativity in learning, and entrepreneurial spirit. To know the fundamental aspects of natural science, social science, geography, history, and culture. To develop basic technological competencies and to initiate in their use for learning, developing a critical spirit toward their functioning and the message they receive and elaborate. To use different representation and artistic expressions and to initiate in the construction of visual and audiovisual proposals. Now, following the ACAD framework, I will explain how it is prepared. First, we find the site design, which refers to the physical environment, company and tools used. This class is composed of 30 students who will work in groups of 5 people divided in 6 different groups. Each group will be in different tables using one device per person: phone, laptop, computer or tablet. Secondly, the social design refers to the interaction and ways of working between the involved people. They will work in groups of 5 for the first tasks, and then they will work individually to draw but keeping the groups. Every group must select a manager which will be in charge of the deadlines and checking every day that the work is done, a narrator which will be in charge of talking in public, a creator which will be in charge of the design and giving them the painting they will paint, a researcher which will be in charge of looking on the internet or asking people when they have a doubt, and the mediator which will be in charge of keeping a comfy group environment, and if a problem occurs, he or she should be the one that tries to solve it, mediating between them. Finally, the epistemic design refers to the activities they will be making. To achieve successfully this project, students will have to follow the next steps. First, the groups will be created by them, but the teacher will take a look at them and see if the arrangement is well done or if they need changes. Secondly, the teacher will explain to them the general idea of the task and how it will be evaluated. The evaluation will consist of 3 parts. The first one is going to be done through an individual evaluation scale. The second one is a group evaluation which will be made on the presentation day, and it will be evaluated by the people that go to see the expositions. The format is simple: a survey to see if they have learned something new and if they liked it. The last one is an evaluation between the group members, giving his or her classmates a mark between 1 and 10 and saying why. This part is very important because they are the only ones who know what has really happened during the process. However, feedback coming from the teacher should be given after every important stage in order to let them improve their performance. This is based on the standards 1.1 and 2.2 from evaluation criteria and from the basic knowledge of the 3rd cycle of primary education from the BORM. Thirdly, they divide some of the different parts from Europe: Iberian Peninsula plus France, Balkans, East Europe, Central Europe, Nordic countries plus UK, and the Italian Peninsula among the 6 groups. It will be done by drawing a ballot. Now, they will divide the different roles in every group, create a group name, and write it in a paper. Fifthly, knowing they will make an exposition in the corridor, they will measure the corridor and the free spaces they can use with AR Plan 3D tape measures ruler or the measure app from the iOS. The researcher has to make sure that the measures are correct. 6. They talk with the rest of the groups to divide the space and make a design of how they will arrange the space of the corridor where they will display their exposition on Room Planner. Everyone should participate, but the creator can edit it to make it look better. 7th, from the geographical part they select a painting, but the creator has to be sure they are from the 19th or 20th century and from their part. Eighth, the researcher says the information they have to search for. For example, the researcher can say they have to find the name of the painting in the original language, the author, the country, and where the original one is. Ninth, they look for the information that the researcher said. To do this, they have to create a shared Google document in which they will write the information they have. They can search on Google and use ChatGPT, but if they use it, they have to be sure that the information is real by searching in other places or asking someone. 10th, they create a template to write the main information they got in a schematic way. To do this, they will use PixArt. 11th, they recreate their painting in Ibis Paint X. 12th, they write the rest of the information in a paper or document and prepare it for the exposition. Finally, there are 2 sessions in which they explain their work. In the first session, the writer will stay with the paintings, while the rest of the group goes to see the rest of the paintings and take notes about them. In the second session, other classes will come to see the expositions, and the groups will have to explain some of the written information when they are asked. Nevertheless, some problems may pop up. For example, the main ethical problem for both parents and students is that some of them can't afford these electronic devices. However, the school can lend them some devices, and the rest of his or her classmates in the group may lend them their phones if they are not using it. About the tools, the problem would be if they use ChatGPT without reading the response after it is generated, since it could be wrong and they would not learn anything. This is easily fixed because they will have to explain the information to the rest of the people, so they will have to read it. Lastly, they have to create some accounts to use some of the tools, but the teacher will create a common email for the classroom so they can use it without introducing their personal data. Another point to mention is the added value of using digital tools, which in this case is simply explained. They can be artistic with just one app, like Room Planner, Ibis Paint X, or PixArt, and a device. Eliminating some of the frustration a manual project can create. Using a tool to measure facilitates the work because it saves them in the same space and they can check it whenever they want. They can also share their projects globally just by clicking in share. Moreover, this activity will help students' personal learning environment by teaching them how to improve their artistic, working groups, communication, and public talking skills. Also, they will get to know more tools that will help them on future projects or just initiate a new hobby or passion for them. Additionally, their cultural level will be higher, and they will learn new vocabulary by reading and writing the information, which will lead into an improved comprehension. In this course, we have done many different things in diverse ways. Nevertheless, there are some that I would like to continue using, which are the following. To start, I love how artificial intelligence has helped me since the beginning. It may make some mistakes, but when I do not know how to start, I can ask something to the artificial intelligence and continue my work from that point. My stress decreased partially because thanks to it I saved a lot of time and improved the creative part of my projects. Next is Instagram. I already used this social media since a long time ago, but just for scrolling through random things. I want to keep it because there is a huge amount of interest in learning content. For example, I was interested in learning a language and I found an account with well-explained material and a community that has the same goal as me. Talking with each other via Instagram makes us improve in an easy and comfortable way. The way we work in class is unique since I have never worked like this before. I feel that I am learning when doing something else that's just listening or taking notes. It makes it clear that I'm not working just because, but it has another finality. Moreover, it not just makes you learn theoretical content, but enhances creativity, and when working in groups, it helps to overcome shyness and improve communication skills. After this course, although I did not learn everything by heart, I have learned many other things that will help me with my personal projects and to help others. Continuing, although it is not the first time I work with roles, this was for sure the most meaningful time. This idea made me realize which were my strengths and weaknesses. I would like to implement it for myself and for others for that reason. However, since I have already experienced these roles, I would prefer to try different ones to continue discovering things. Finally, keeping a blog as a diary is tiring and time-consuming, but when it is done, I can see it through another perspective. I want to include it in my PLE to remember what I have done and to share it with other people. Also, reading other blogs that are working on the same as me is motivating to continue until I achieve my goals. One thing we have worked on in this course is the DigiCompilu framework, which has 6 areas that focus on the different aspects of educators' professional activities. The 3 areas that I consider more important are Area 2, Digital Resources, Area 3, Teaching and Learning, and Area 5, Empowering. Area 2 consists of selecting, creating, modifying, managing, protecting, and sharing digital resources. This is important because nowadays a wide variety of technology exists, and as a future teacher, I need this competency to know how to make good use of them. An example of the competency this course is about copyright. In class, we have been told several times that everything we inspire on should be cited perfectly, following the APA style. Also, when we directly use something that is not ours, like an image, it must be labeled as free use, no copyright, creative license, or similar. And we should mention the name of the person who uploaded and the real name of the resource. Copyright is not a joke and it can have legal reactions. Area 3 consists of teaching, guidance, collaborative learning, and self-regulated learning. This one focuses on the shift from teacher-centered to a student-centered learning approach using technology. Teachers should be able to use them in the learning process as well as following the process to initiate learners on its use. If I think about this competence, what comes into my mind is the book Technology Enhanced Learning for Key Competencies, which we had to use for Task 5. It has lots of different activities and tools to make them. Due to this, I learned that there are tons of combination of activities to produce with technology that are useful for every subject. There is no limit if used wisely. Area 5 consists of accessibility and inclusion, differentiation and personalization, and actively engaging learners. Not everyone is able to buy a device with which they can work, but that technological gap has been decreasing in schools due to the loans from them to the students. Additionally, each student can work with the tool they like the most. For example, to take notes, some of them will use Google Docs and other Microsoft Word. This whole subject has been teaching us about enhancing the use of technology. It can be seen in every task that we have used some of our favorites, like Canva, or new ones, like Audacity. Not only that, but I have also learned how to take care of my data. Furthermore, when knowing more about technology, I can give my future students a more individualized learning process. Everyone will have their own preference, and it is no problem while the tool's aim is similar. In addition, the use of tools is more enjoyable for those who prefer learning by doing. After these 4 months of learning, I think the mark I deserve is an 8.5 because of the improvement. When I started this course, I was lost in every sense, but after the first task, I understood the functioning of the subject. Moreover, I have always been prepared and completed my work successfully, even if there were problems. I also believe I have done my roles correctly, and no matter what I was each week, I was always useful and participative. Continuing talking about the roles, I have performed almost every role twice, other even 3 times. After going through each one, I am sure that the most important one for me is STAR. It is not because I had the most fun doing it or because I did it perfectly, but because I have always found communication difficult, even more if I was presenting on the front. Since I have performed it several times, I can feel I have improved, even if it is just a little bit, in this action that I will be performing in my daily life while being a teacher. Due to this, the most challenging role was also the STAR. However, I also want to mention the analyst role, which put me in a dilemma between mind and heart while marking my teammates and friends.